to move. Or somebody, they'll have to merge us with someone, which won't happen.
Correct.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to merge. I'm alright with moving.
Also, just to have it said,
get outta here.
because it's required
Fuck's
in
sake.
my state, this meeting is being recorded for those who can't be here. Just because.
They want pictures of me or what?
No, just the audio and also my fucking dungeon run, so you can see how bad I tank.
I'm offering pictures.
You don't get pictures, Numpod. I don't want. No one wants your pictures.
Just leave them on your OnlyFans, okay?
But yes, if that is something that the vast majority of us are willing to do in order to actually continue to raid, there's a couple of us who are willing to go to other servers and scout things out if we have a list of people who want to. I am about to wipe us. Who want to swap.
I don't mind that idea. I think it's a good idea, especially if we want to recruit more people and play with more people, and if people are raid logging, which there's quite a few of us, then it gives incentive for other people to find groups and stuff easier. I just think we need to give enough time for other people in the guild who haven't logged in a few days and whatnot to.
Oh, correct. This is talking like a while from now. Like, I'm not saying tomorrow let's all fucking move.
Or something. Yeah, I'm alright with that.
We definitely need to find
I
place.
feel like everyone should just be on the same page though, because I feel like if there's someone who hasn't logged in a week because they're on vacation or something, and the guild's disbanded and gone to another server, I feel like we're just kind of abandoning those people. And
that is precisely why I'm recording this.
Yeah.
One of the general consensuses for timeline's sake, I don't have an official post, obviously, as Blizzard's currently shut down, but following in line with previous iterations, we've got about a month and a half before we're looking at Phase 2. So the sooner the better, but obviously we wouldn't want to do it within the next week or two. So
I think if everyone is on the same, like, if a lot of people are like majority of the guild logs in and actually hears this discussion within the next few weeks, we'll have enough time. I think a month is definitely enough time. Like, if you're not logging in within a couple weeks anyways, then
a month would be too long.
I can already tell. We have 18 people in here right now, and every single one of these 18 people are raiders.
Right. A month would be too long because we're not going to be able to be on a new server, settled into a raid group, recruit anyone that wasn't able to follow us, fill a 25-man team, and be ready to take on the adjustments necessary for SSC and TK, attune everybody to SSC and TK, and then be ready for the opening of Phase 2 within the month and a half we would have before Phase 2 drops.
Right.
May I throw out a timeline from kind of how I think would give you enough room for each things? If you make a decision, move and where in the next 2 weeks, that will give you plenty of time. 2 weeks. You really only need like 2 weeks lead time. With the vast majority of people will be sufficiently geared to do SSC and TK if they're actively looking for a group. Even if you go to another server, you need to pick people up, and so that will give you enough time to kind of hammer out a roster and an initial plan. It's not a terrible thing if you just if you go in and clear a single boss of each when the instance launches. Anybody who actually goes in and clears anything will have major pull.
And 2 weeks if you know you're moving to a high population server, like for example, just throwing it out there, Benediction or Grobulus, 2 weeks of farming on an essentially dead server gives you the opportunity to farm high crave, high quality, or high priced materials with virtually no opposition, or high raw recipes with minimal opposition. So that's also something that's open to you before transferring to that server where farming those items would be virtually impossible.
I think the other thing we'd want probably look at for the timing is if we're no longer able to man a 25-man raids like Roll and Mag, we might want to transfer earlier so we have a better chance of actually recruiting people.
The 2 weeks is a good. I would be a fan of that timeline.
Yeah, that's should probably post that in the guild info too, just in case.
Will do. I mean, I will.
Yeah.
After this is over, I will go through all of it and see what the general consensus is, and start posting stuff as needed.
Great. Oh, what would we do without you, Elias?
Well,
The other alternative.
you'll find out in a couple weeks, but that's later on in the fucking meeting.
The other alternative, obviously, is that with everyone else leaving, there is still going to be people here, and transferring off of this server, staying, obviously, is still an option. Is that an option that anyone is considering?
What do you mean? I don't understand the question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I totally
with
missed that.
just confirming that I know that a lot of us that had stated, the loud voices that stated that moving is in the best interest of the guild, but I wanted to make it clear that that nobody is interested in, for what this 18 people here, in keeping the guild here with the option of collecting the stragglers from the guilds that are moving. If we do a recruitment drive here, with everyone transferring off Monday, this weekend, the coming raids, the opportunity to grab those stragglers, fill our ranks with them, and attempt to bolster that, that's an option, albeit not an entirely healthy one. It didn't work on Anathema, it didn't work on Bigglesworth, because both of those servers are currently dead, but it is a small window of opportunity that doesn't cost you $25.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it also doesn't play into Blizzard's little shuffle bottom line game either. So it is something to consider. And while the decision, I don't think, maybe doesn't have to be made tonight. Maybe put it to a vote or have the officers decide, whatever suits you guys best. I think that there's a lot of.
I think it should be something
think we
that
should
should
decide
sit
as a
out
group.
and not just be decided in a couple of days. Just let it sit there for a week or so.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
can
let
post
everyone
something.
think about it.
Discord or something like that. Like people got to think about it. Like you can't just make that
Yes.
decision overnight all the time.
Of course
Correct.
not. The point of this is to bring it up. I wouldn't.
No, yeah, I understand.
I wouldn't just put it in character or announcements being like, "We're moving in 2 weeks." It would be, "Hey, this is what we discussed last night. Here's the video that you can watch. You can hear people what they say. What do you think?" Put it to a vote. See how many people want to leave. If we get to a critical mass of people who want to leave, then we will. If we get to a critical mass of people who don't want to leave, then we won't, and we'll try to be the only goddamn guild on this entire server.
I mean, it's possible. Once you're the
you're the
honestly, most populated guild, you stay that way.
Yeah, but it's
I mean,
also like
Unless
Mega-
the server dies.
like it is nice playing with a guild, and like we made the guild so we have a community to play with when everyone wants to run dungeons or heroics or raids
Which
or
we've
whatever.
done a pretty good job of it. You guys
For
have.
sure.
I can't
Sure,
take that.
but also like not
Y'all
like
don't
when we
log
want to
on.
run for badges or something like that. Yeah, I'm not logging on because I'm
Here-
raid logging.
Here's the other thing.
Or-
If we're the only guild on the server, at this point, we have to do every single little bit of gathering for every single thing we need as well. The auction house
Correct.
dies.
Yeah, it's true.
The auction house
Correct.
dies.
It also
The
puts a
server still
disproportionate stress on tanks and healers, and that will lead to burnout for the raid log. It's
Correct.
nice to have groups with different schedules because you can offset like the demand for activities.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we don't have an administration in our guild that has the capability of managing that type of influx right now, growth and sorting. So that's going to put
Jeez.
an administrative strain in a very short span. So that's something else to consider when choosing that option. But there is, and what I would recommend, make an alt on, what was the one that I said? Not Grabulus. Benediction. Make a level 1 alt on Benediction. Listen to their looking for group. Go to Stormwind. See how populated that is. Look at their auction house. Go there yourself. See it. And what an actual server that isn't dead looks like. Give it an hour. And think that you could have your main on there. I've already done that.
Yeah, I've
That-
done that a
that-
few times.
That's a server that makes me not want to raid log. Like,
Yeah.
Because people are doing things other than just raids or working towards raids.
right, that's a server that makes you want to PvP. It makes you want to log on and chase it. I mean, not necessarily want to chase achievements, but it makes you want to go out there and challenge the world PvP. It makes you want to take objectives in the Hellfire Peninsula. How about some lobbies in Levelin and do that kind of shit because people are actually doing that. And that's the way the TBC presented itself back in the day, and that's pretty cool to have that again. This server doesn't offer that because we tried to raise the horde like there was some kind of extinct species.
I mean, we
And they
achieved
kind of
it.
are on our server right now.
Right. It's nice to have a server that has the balance there.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I prefer to have a server that has the balance on there. I've always been a PvPer, so especially like world PvP.
And they're almost 1-to-1.
Yeah.
So
I would like
that's-
to find a server that is at least 50-50.
Yeah, and Benediction offers that. At least I believe pretty close to it.
Yeah, to me, honestly, I don't really mind which server we go to as long as it is somewhat balanced and populated. And
The only thing
everyone
Benediction's
else
gonna
agrees that they want to move to that server.
I don't even
only
care
thing
if
I can
it's balanced.
guarantee you the Benediction's going to offer you also, it's going to guarantee as soon as phase 2 drops, or not phase 2, but as soon as, I think phase 2, as soon as phase 2 drops, guarantee you're going to sit in a line when you log in.
Yeah.
100%
boy.
you're going to sit in a line when you log in. 100% they're going to offer free transfers when you log in. So that halfway through phase 2, you can pay to transfer back. That's just the way that's going to be. That's how they're making money now to keep the lights on. That's how Blizzard's been the past couple of, little mini games they've played. That's how they keep their lights on. So, like that's not, entirely
Especially
avoidable.
after they shut down a couple weeks ago.
Right. It's
Especially after they lose a bunch of money fighting their lawsuits.
Now's the time to buy gold,
right.
boys.
It's how they afford to pay the prostitutes since all their staff are, on leave.
Oh,
Actually,
shit.
you laugh, but they had like the World of Warcraft like gold coin thing that you buy for the time and whatnot. They had it with the Burning Crusade green behind it. Somebody found a picture of it.
Yeah. So,
It's coming.
yeah. It's terrible. Was there another thing on the table, Alitas, or was this the only?
Oh, I have lots of things on the table. I was just waiting for this.
Since I think we've beaten this one into the dust. Yes.
Okay.
And in lasagna.
So, as the rest of the officers know, we had a officer meeting a little bit ago, and so I'm going to go through some of that. Actually, I'll start with this. I have a mass
Shit.
on my thing, hippocampus in my brain. This is why I missed raid yesterday. Was it yesterday? The day before yesterday.
Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah. What this means is that one, we need a new raid leader for Tuesday because my schedule is no longer remotely close to consistent. And I was the raid leader for Tuesday. We need a primary and secondary raid leader for 25-mans. Dill doesn't always show up. Our last two 25-mans, we've had no real raid leader, and we just kind of threw one together at the last second. And while some of this stuff will have to be addressed if and when we move servers, it's still currently a problem this week. So we need as a guild people who are willing to Gnomepod, you let me die.
Yeah. I was typing.
God damn it, Gnomepod.
I'm sorry. You got me amped up.
But we need someone, 2 people specifically, who are either willing or capable of raid leading on 25-man days. Because, like I said, if Dill can't show up, Kaz doesn't really want to do it. And Kaz got shoved into that the last 2 weeks, and that's not fair to him. So we need to find somebody as a group who is willing to make calls in 25-man raids. And also shut everyone else up when they're talking about stuff that has nothing to do with the raid.
As someone who always talks about things that have nothing to do with the raid, I will recognize that and just
You
yell
don't
at
qualify.
everyone all the time. Oh, don't worry, I'll yell anyway. Nicely.
And if anyone is actually interested in that, please tell an officer that's not me, because I have memory problems at the moment. I might not remember you told me.
I know Johnny D approached me the other day to express that he was interested.
Okay, well, have him whisper Dill or Booty or Nasty so they can put that shit in officer chat so the rest of us know of it.
Is he cute?
I don't know, his name's Johnny D. Does it sound like he's cute?
I don't know. I
I
asked
like
you.
how that's a thing that needs to be known.
It's always a
He-
thing that needs to be known.
Duh. We only have cute officers. Deal with it.
If you think somebody is a good fit for that role and they haven't explicitly spoken up, talk to them and then ask them to consider it.
That's why I want them to talk to an officer so that they can talk to them, figure it out. Bring them into a Kara raid and see how they do in a Kara raid before you bring them into the 25-man raid. Because, leading Kara is easy comparatively.
Alright.
And for example, we need one for Tuesday. So if the person who wants to try out leading
Raid leading
on 25-man, all they have to do is show up on Tuesday and take my spot. And we can see how it goes. And then you've got 10 people saying whether or not he sucks. Or is good. And that's at least that's how I would go about it. But I'm not the primary officer when it comes to these kinds of things. The next thing is, and some of this is old because this stuff was on the list of stuff we needed to talk about before moving servers. But if our raid roster stays the same when we move, possibly dropping down to 2 Kara teams. In the first 2 weeks that we've tried having 3 Kara teams, every single Kara team except one time has had to pug somebody because of scheduling issues. Which means even though we have 40 raiders, I don't think we can actually consistently fill 30 slots because we're pulling in pugs. So the idea there is if we drop it to 2 Kara teams, yes, people might have to fight for spots, but we will always have full guild groups. Gear won't go to people who do not belong in the guild. Also, I pulled over here, guys. Also, as brought up to me by other people, there are people who essentially are not really trying. Or they just don't care, either way. And if we drop down to 2 groups, that means that people have to actually kind of earn their spots. Which means they have to try, which means they have to have an activity score of higher than 60% when they're not dead. And for those of you who don't know, an activity score is the number of times that you're on the GCD or casting. Which means you spent 40% of the match doing nothing. Because your activity score doesn't count when you're dead. When you're dead, your activity value stops ticking against you.
Pretty cool.
So when I open up when I open up a log and I see someone chilling at 65% in a 25-man raid, what you doing?
Texting.
Wearing stamina
Auto
gear.
casting.
No, if you were casting anything, literally, if you were casting anything, if you're on the GCD, if you press Shiv or whatever, what is it, Sinister Strike?
No, I mean like auto attacking.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I don't know. Let me check to see if auto attacking even fucking shows up on activity. No one do anything in my 5-man dungeon. Hold on. Do nothing.
Can you kill that?
Auto attacking shows up on activity.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, if your activity is 60%, what the fuck you doing? That kind of stuff. So, if we drop down to 2 raids, we will always have reserve healers and tanks, because right now, if we have a tank who doesn't show up for a care raid, we have to pug it. We've got 6
that's
tanks.
also, I know
Too
you're
many
talking about dropping
reserves
down to
make
2,
people
so
leave.
Finley's Meow Group, we definitely need to replace Red Wolf because he never shows up.
That's
and
my
we always
point.
have to pug him. So, I mean, I know we're talking about dropping down to 2, but if we have another tank or like if anyone can move, we could really use one.
That's my point. We have 6 tanks and 10 healers. We have 6 spots for tanks and 9 spots for healers. If a tank can't show up, we have to pug. We have no way around that right now.
Gotcha.
So, dropping down to 2 care teams gives us reserves, gives us the ability to never pug anyone ever again. It gives us the ability to, if someone is choosing to underperform for whatever reason that happens to be, they can just lose their spot. And you can swap out people who need gear from specific bosses. So, for example, say I have every single piece of gear I could possibly want from Netherspite. So rather than a Kara team being 10-person wide, 10-person big, it might be 14 people big, and you swap out in and out people based off gear they've already dropped. Because like I know, for example, like Wild North, if I remember correctly, has like the helmet from Chess Event, right?
Yeah, I do.
Which means there's no real reason for you to do Chess Event anymore.
Nope.
So at that point, if someone who didn't have the gear, you could swap Wild North out for someone who could use gear from Chess Event, and that's how you would still run 30 people in 2 care teams. And then I think that's it, unless you want me to go into slightly less casual stuff. Which I'll leave up to Dill if he wants me to go into slightly less casual stuff. Which would be number 8, Dill. Is your mic working, Dill?
Yeah, I just had to figure it out. Sorry, brother. It is completely up to you. I'm all for it, but if you don't want to hurt feelings, it's up to you.
I don't give a fuck about feelings. You're the guild lead. Do you want me to go into number 8 or not?
Give her, buddy, give her.
All right. So, we're probably going to start gear checking people. Not like, do you have the super best gear or best in slot, but it's come to my attention that there are people who have gone to 25-man raids with less than 4% hit out of 17 or 16.
And Girls is a DPS race, so that does not work.
Correct. So, if we're going to progress, we're going to need to start logging in and getting our raiders some gear. If you don't have gear, if you're missing gear, let us know. I'll run you through anything you need. I'll run you through Heroic Black Morass if I have to. And as half the people in this fucking channel know, I despise Heroic Black Morass. But if you need a piece of gear from there, we'll fucking run you through it. Just let us know. Don't feel bad. And don't give me this crap of, I don't have the best gear, so I shouldn't be concerned about performing. No, go get the gear. It's not hard. We're all here. Me and Corn Pop are logged in all the time. We'll run you through shit. He's not going to talk right now because he's in a phone call, but I'm sure he'll type it out to me if he wants. Also, how did you all die?
I burned the
You're
tank.
sitting.
Where did you go? Well, I'm going to go hang out in the scarab room while you guys come back.
I'd suggest that too.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, sorry,
Sounds like we need better gear.
I'm distracted, by the meeting.
We
I'm not
don't
really in
have
full front.
60% hit, boys. Fuck.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. And so what I have, does anyone else have anything that they would like to tell the guild as a whole, or anything that they want to change or discuss about what has been said?
I just want to be a dick and reiterate how important hit rating is. Crit and everything else means nothing if you're not hit capped. None
Hit-
of that means anything.
Is your highest DPS stat. You should want all of it that you want.
Yeah, I saw that.
You should be addicted to it like fucking meth.
Uh-huh.
Also, to help you with this, in MDPS and RDPS down at the bottom today, I put every single specs hit cap rating. Every last one.
And for casters, resist is the same thing as missing.
Yes.
On melee.
So if you look at your class and you look at your spec, that's how much hit rating you need in order to reach maximum value. Now that is assuming that you don't have certain buffs from the raid. So, like, if you get an elemental shaman, you can take away 3% spell hit because he's going to give you 3% spell hit. If you
But
get,
you shouldn't depend on assuming you're going to be put in the group with the only elemental shaman your
correct,
guild has.
you should have 2 sets, or not 2 sets, but you should have pieces that you can take off, hit pieces that you can take off and replace with better DPS pieces if you do happen to have him in your party. Same with whether or not you have a boomkin anywhere in the raid whatsoever to apply improved fairy fire for all of you melee DPS that we happen to have.
If you dungeon grinded to 70, there are a number of trinkets and other items from quests that have hit that are easy to get, even soloing them. And there's also hit food you can use if you are at a marginal hit rating.
Also gems.
For warlocks, sub-hit rating, affliction has talents that make up that in a significant way. Instead of being destro, for mages, arcane, as he posted, helps you get that. But again, that's all in RDPS. There are specs that help you get to bridge that gap. While you get caught up, it's obviously not going to be an immediate cutthroat concept, but it is something to consider that when we get that month ahead of us in TK and SSC, you're going to be doing next to nothing to those things. And it's going to be glaringly obvious. Even if the players themselves don't point out who those people are, the logs and the numbers will, and it will cause wipes, and it will cause other people to point them out, and it just won't be able to take them. And it's going to suck when people get excluded. And we don't want that to happen to people that we've enjoyed playing with.
Also, this is the only time that I'm ever going to explain this publicly. I will never call you out publicly for your shit gear or your shit performance. But after this day, I will PM you. Just to let you know. I will never, ever, ever call you out in public unless it's a joke, like Corn Pop, who never brings seeds to raids, and I have to give him seeds all the time.
Dickhead.
But I will start messaging you, or I will have other officers message you if I can't be polite, because sometimes I can't. It will be polite. If it's not polite, please, for the love of God, report me to another officer, because I do intend on being polite. But we will start telling you if we notice things, because it is progression, and if you get us killed, and it is your fault, we need to fix it. Not that we don't like you, not that we don't hate you. I've done it too. I've fucked up before, and I expect people to rip my asshole open when I do it.
Which is why we're gonna grind normal mode dungeons and get
So that
this
he can give
lovely
me fucking
healer.
enchants. Yes, I know, because I don't have enchants. Thank you, Stavas.
Mhm.
If anybody does any normal normal dungeons, let me know.
But yes, also, if you are raid logging and it's not because of a schedule issue, please stop. We have lots of people who need stuff done. Lots of people who need stuff done. And like I see people in guild chat ask for things all the time, and I'll already be busy.
Do we have a looking for group channel?
In Discord?
Discord,
You want one?
please.
I'm gonna put that bitch at the top. Text channel. Looking for content. Great channel.
You had a Power Rangers channel for discussion about Power Rangers.
That's called memes and things.
Appreciate you.
No, I don't think.
I don't think you understand how much he can talk about Power Rangers.
I'm okay with that.
Who's the best Power Ranger of all generations?
You are absolutely welcome to fill
And why
my
is it
memes.
Tommy?
You are absolutely welcome to fill my memes and things channel all the way up. I don't care. I enjoy watching that stuff because I'm forced at home because I'm not allowed to drive anywhere.
I will spam
Kinda
at
sus.
people for content.
Yes.
But yes, also, I mean, if you need stuff done and you only have specific times that you can do it, as long as I am still around, I can get that stuff coordinated for you. I am the coordinator for the guild as long as my brain allows me to do it.
Sounds familiar. I'm sorry.
That's fine. However, to the other officers, you might want to find someone who can replace me at least eventually because, like I said, I was in a coma for all of fucking Tuesday. Like, straight coma, like, did not wake up. Anyone have anything else?
You had a channel for Digimon discussion and other such things.
I'm gonna lick you.
I can't really put the Power Rangers and the Digimon discussion in the same
Digimon.
channel.
You play Digimon World?
I watched the original anime.
I think that we're good, and we could probably stop recording. I think with Max in here, you should
No,
probably
we
stop
need at least
recording.
another hour of recording Digimon and Power Ranger chat.
Think we're gonna be okay?
Wait, actually,
recording.
Digimon are
I'm gonna go with an old school Guardians PvP tradition. Someone must sing "I'm a Little Teapot" before I turn off this recording.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here's
Don't
my
pause,
hand,
Max.
here is my spout.
It's funny because it's true if you see his gnome right now.
When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Dang.
Tip me over and pour me out.
Me over and
Take a
pour
bow. There you
me.
go.
All right, congratulations, Gnome